Alright, so Borderlands 4 just launched, and I'll be honest, I skipped out on Borderlands 3, but Borderlands 2, I did really enjoy that game, so I was looking forward to Borderlands 4 as the reviews came in, and the gameplay seemed to be pretty decent, but I've got it up right now, and while the performance might look pretty good on my system right now using an RTX 5090, well, I'll tell you, it's not ideal, and the thing that I didn't mention when it came to the reviews is, unfortunately, everybody has been dogging on this game in terms of its performance, and we're about to see that they are absolutely justified in doing so. We are talking about an unholy marriage between an Unreal Engine 5 slop performance game combined with your favorite Denuvo anti-cheat. So as you can imagine, yes, the performance is extremely bad. I mean, we are talking possibly one of the worst performing games I have ever seen. Before that, this video is brought to you by Jawa. Jawa's mission is to be the community for safely buying and selling PC parts at a reasonable price, offering low fees and great customer service, which I can definitely attest to, as I personally bought this RTX 3070 from Jawa anonymously, and not only did it arrive quickly, but when I ran into an issue, they immediately replaced it with a flawless substitute and asked that I only send the old one back after I confirmed the new GPU worked great. And the best part is the price I got this card at was well below other listings I could find anywhere else, likely thanks in part to Jawa's much lower seller fees of 9 to 12% depending on when you join. So if you're interested in buying or selling PC parts on a platform with low fees and great customer service, be sure to click the link in the description below and watch out for some of my hardware that'll likely be popping up very soon. Now, yes, I'm running it right now, and you'll see in the top left corner, and I'll try and make that larger for you guys, that I'm getting 130 FPS in the game right now. However, I have had to do a lot of tricks on an RTX 5090, a $2,000 graphics card to get this running, and you'll see in a moment that this 130 frames per second is not impressive at all. Now look, is it playable like this on an insanely expensive PC? Sure, but let's take a look at the settings here to see what I've had to do to make this happen. So first of all, I actually have a frame rate limit of 130 FPS, so let's just turn that off right now. Okay, so I've unlocked my frame rate, and now I'm actually getting 144 FPS right now. Again, might sound good, but let's go back into the settings and I'll show you why this is not good. So first of all, I am using DLSS and it is on performance. What this means is on an RTX 5090, what you're looking at right now here, this is not me running 4K at 130 FPS. This is me running 1080p. Yes, 1080p in the year of 2025 and upscaling it to 4K. Now, to be clear, does it look bad when you upscale from 1080p to 4K using the new DLSS transformer model? The answer is no. It doesn't, look, to be fair, it does not look as good as native 4K, but it overall does look pretty good. It looks better than 1440p. I think it looks pretty good overall. However, it's just like, really, we're having to upscale from 1080p to get 144 FPS, and I'll tell you why it's absolutely not actually 144 FPS in just a second here. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Let's take a look at the options. Okay, so you think, oh, well, that's actually, yeah, sure, it's 1080p, but you're getting 144 FPS. Actually, no, I'm not, because I have frame generation on. So now I've actually turned off frame generation, and we are sitting here at around 80 frames per second. And look, is 80 frames per second unplayable on an RTX 5090? No, but we're talking about a FPS game, and my latency is around 30 milliseconds, so 80 frames per second, sometimes dropping closer to 60 FPS at 1080p, mind you, on an RTX 5090 is kind of insane. So, but you might be asking the question, okay, what if I actually wanted to run the game at 4K? What if I wanted to use my 4K display to its maximum capabilities, technically, on an RTX 5090? Again, I will mention a $2,000 at best graphics card. Yeah, I mean, well, you're not going to be getting 80 frames per second, I'll tell you that much. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go over to the advanced settings and let's just turn off DLSS and see what treat that we get to feast our eyes upon. All right, so here we are. I've turned off DLSS, I've turned off frame generation, and of course, I have the frame rate cap off as well. And what type of frame rate am I getting? I'm getting in the 30 FPS range. The 30 FPS range! Are you kidding me? On a $2,000 plus graphics card alone, that's not accounting for the 9800X 3D and 64 gigabytes of 6000 megatransfer DDR5 that I'm running in the system. We have a modern game on Unreal Engine 5, the engine that's supposed to be so good, but of course has been game after game after game that's come out with poor optimization. We are getting in the 30 FPS range. I'm telling you, on a mouse and keyboard, 30 FPS, it's just absolutely unplayable. It's just, no, I would not play a game like this. Like, could I do it for a short amount of time? Yes, but I will get a headache and it just will drive me crazy. So no, I'm not going to do that to play a game. So if you're someone who wants to play this game at the actual 4K resolution and you have the most powerful PC that money can buy in the market today, well, too bad you can't do it. That is absolutely crazy. Now, we are sitting at the absolute maximum settings right now. Oh God, I have to fight. Wish me luck, because this is not going to be easy at 30 FPS. God, is this horrible. So we're at the ultra settings. You know, could I go into the settings right now and turn that down? Yes, I could. So let's go to very high and see how that changes. Okay, so dropping down to very high, I did jump up, it looks like, to the 40 FPS range. However, I mean, look, guys, 40 FPS, that ain't it. You know, I know Randy Pitchford would like us to believe that our PCs are not good enough. I mean, it's like, hey, would you like to buy an RTX 6090? Yes or yes. Is your PC bad? Yes or yes. That would be his answer. But realistically, look, as much as 40 FPS is a real visual treat to the eyes at not even ultra settings, that ain't it. So, I mean, what else can we do here? Can we drop the settings from very high to high? Yes, we can do that. Let's go ahead and do it. So we've dropped it to the high setting, and now we're getting at 4K on an RTX 59. I'm gonna keep saying it because it's absolutely insane. Still less than 60 FPS. We've dropped two setting things down now. I mean, the 5090, mind you, was supposed to be a graphics card that's like a no compromise experience. So look, you know, if I'm running an RTX 5060, even an RTX 5070, I expect to have some compromises, especially when it comes to running native resolution, anything like that. Even settings, I expect to dial down settings pretty aggressively. But with an RTX 5090, that's supposed to be an absolutely no compromise experience, I don't expect to be doing this. Like, this is kind of crazy. So what do we have to do to get more than 60 FPS? I mean, could I go in and drop it lower? Yes, I could. Yes, I could. Let's do that. So now we're at the medium settings. Can I finally run this game at medium settings on an RTX 5090? And the answer is not, I mean, sort of. Like 67 FPS is not good. That's not, I don't know about you, but I don't consider that to be a treat. That's not what I'm looking for at medium settings. So can I go lower? I mean, can we, because look, for me, fellas, a game where there's gonna be fast-paced action, and I know this isn't an online game, so it's not super fast, but we're still talking about an FPS game. I want 120 FPS or more. So can I get at least 120? Let's find out. All right, let's go into those settings and let's drop it down from medium to low. I mean, is this gonna be enough? Probably not. Well, let's find out. All right, so I've dropped it down to the low settings on an RTX 5090 $2,000+ graphics card, by the way, and we are still sitting well below 100 frames per second. We are at 75 frames per second, and the game looks not great. I mean, look, it's sharp and it's kind of smooth, I guess, but I mean, there's just like no foliage. The lighting has really fallen off a cliff. The shadowing, you can see when you look, there's a lot of pixelization around the shadows I'm looking at right now. The terrain is god awful. I mean, that is really pixelated. So what I'm saying is, where has the performance gone? What am I looking at that is causing me to get this sort of frame rate on a modern GPU, the fastest one that you can possibly buy? What about the scene that I'm looking at right now tells me that I deserve 80 frames per second for these visuals? And look, again, it's not that 80 FPS is unplayable, but what on my screen is justifying that? And I can't tell you. I'm looking at some very simplistic graphics. I'm looking at low resolution textures, low resolution shadows, really not high detail on anything. There's minimal particle effects. There's a very low render distance, and I'm looking at basically a skybox right now in the background, and I'm getting 88 frames per second. What is going on? I mean, like, what, you know, look, fellas, I think the point is, we live in a society where you're gonna have to pony up for a $10,000 graphics card. What I'm saying is, an RTX 5090 ain't gonna cut it anymore. We're gonna have to, I don't know, purchase some future alien technology. And if that's too much for you, well then look, there's the door. There's the door, because the way things are going, look, fellas, sometimes in life, you just need to pay for the most expensive thing possible and get a bad experience. Some people would consider this a great experience, actually. Randy Pitchford would say this is possibly a great experience. I think he would say that. I don't know if he'd say that, but I think he would say that. And sometimes you just gotta accept Denuvo plus Unreal Engine 5. Sometimes, listen, when life gives you lemons, you eat them. That is what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, look, can you get this game playable? Yes, you can. I can run the game at 1080p, and I can, still run it at the maximum settings. Cause you go from maximum settings down to low, and you're really not getting a whole lot. Let's put it that way. Let's address the elephant in the room. So I guess I might as well run ultra settings, right? So I can run ultra settings and I can get 130 FPS. Now it requires pretty poor latency because I get to use, DLSS plus frame generation, run it basically at 1080p and then generate fake frames between each one. But look, at the end of the day, am I gonna not play the game? No. I'm gonna play the game still. To be honest with you guys, why did I buy this? I bought it because it's a certain voyeurism of despair of bad performance, I guess. Like, I see a game that comes out and has really bad performance, and I'm like, ooh, I run a YouTube channel. I could look at how bad it is, and is it bad? Oh boy, it's bad. So I sure got what I paid for. Look, this is running on a 5090. If you're to be honest, really, if you're someone who's running a low-end PC or even a mid-range PC, would I recommend picking it up in this state? No. I would wait and hope that they get some performance patches out first, at least, even if you really enjoy the game, because I kind of agree with the reviews. Look, the game so far, it seems fun. I can't say a whole lot because I'm not real far into the game, but if it stays going how it is, if it stays the course, yeah, I'll probably enjoy it, but it shouldn't require picking up a $2,000 plus graphics card and then really messing around with the settings to get something playable. To get a good experience out of the game. And I say good, right? It's it's not great, it's good enough. But 5070 or below, are you gonna be able to get a good experience? I don't think so. To be honest with you, could you run ultra performance DLSS at 1440p and scrape by at maybe 100 FPS? Maybe, with frame generation. Or could you use 3x frame generation and just have a horrendous latency penalty? Sure. Do you want to do that? Probably not. I'd probably wait if you're running a more budget system, because this ain't it, fellas. And look, I know there's been a lot of improvements to Unreal Engine 5 in the latest revisions recently, and hopefully those hit games in the future, but games coming out in the near future, we're probably going to see more of this. Hopefully not this bad. This is Black Myth Wukong, and this are really horrific in terms of performance. So hopefully we don't see more of this, but I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of Unreal Engine 5 games that are running super great on RX 580. We'll put it that way. So there you have it. Borderlands 4 is a disaster in terms of performance. This is one of the worst performing games I've ever seen in my life. And, God help you if you don't have an RTX 5090 or 4090 to play this game on. Good luck.
If you made it to the end of the video, be sure to drop a like. Every time you do so, AMD and NVIDIA release new GPUs. Also, if you want to see more, check out one of these related videos. You won't be disappointed.